We've come here for a reason. We've definitely come here for a reason. And the occultists teach that whatever lessons we've learnt and whatever wisdom and understanding that we've acquired from these incarnations on this solar system go back with us.
The word spirituality, we can say, is all-encompassing. It's all-encompassing of things like, why is a human being born? What happens during this? What is the purpose of our birth? What happens after we die? Where do we go after death? All these concepts are actually related to spirituality. Spirituality is all engulfing. So when we say I'm doing some kind of spiritual practice or following spirituality, what it means is I'm actually finding out who I am. What am I? Who am I? Where did I come from? What am I doing here on this earth? And where will I go? You're actually demystifying these concepts yourself by realizing who you are. And what that means is we understand that there is this spiritual realm, and we consist of the spiritual realm as well. That means I have a physical body, but that doesn't end there. There is an extension to my physical body. There is a subtle body, which is the subtle mind, the subtle intellect, the subtle ego, and then I have the chakras within me, which is the Kundalini chakra, which is a support mechanism which supports my body. So this is all the part of my spiritual being. How can I discount that aspect? So that understanding this entire subject is spirituality in general. And then you also understand that there is the soul within us, and the property of the soul is absolute truth, absolute consciousness, and absolute bliss. When you actually experience that, when you experience the absolute bliss within us, that's when you're actually experiencing the property of the soul within us. So when I actually have to summarize this entire aspect, the soul has no identity as such. I'm naming myself as Vamsi, but the soul has no identity. It has taken birth again and again and again. The only difference is the various layers on the soul, and the various layers, you can say fictitious layers which we have formed, are illusionary layers which will go away after this birth. And this illusion dies, and the next illusion starts when you take birth again. So with spiritual practice, what generally happens is you tend to purify the mind. It's called dissolution of the mind. You tend to dissolve the intellect so that you get experiences of the soul constantly within us.
When we go to a theme park, there are many, many rides. And if you do get to go on a ride and you enjoy it, you can end the ride and come back on it again. Have you been to a theme park where you've gone on a ride till you were sick of it and didn't go on it again? So most people are really happy with the earth as a theme park, and they're enjoying themselves any which way they can. The end result is, it's an illusion. In my opinion, is that each individual has the chance to wake up out of their ignorance for themselves, to actually understand I'm an eternal living entity currently in a temporary body.
We certainly need to do things to improve our lot and improve our situation. We can look after our body, and so that's diet. Diet needs to be improved always. The raw foods are the ones that will benefit the human constitution more than processed foods. We need to eliminate processed foods as much as possible. And also the great philosophers advocated a vegetarian diet. Pythagoras, Socrates, Empedocles, Plutarch, Porphyry, And a lot of these great men, Da Vinci, Einstein, Edison, I can name thousands of geniuses and great men, were all vegetarian. Because the vegetarian lifestyle enables one to ascend. So that's one thing that needs to be looked at, the diet, and exercise and yoga and good physical maintenance. But that's just the body. But a healthy body helps to have a healthy spirit and emotional and mental life as well. But for the mind, meditation. For the spirit, knowledge and understanding.
The more people meditate, the more they wake up and they become aware of the reality of what's going on around them. Not what they're told to believe and not what they're told is going on around them. Because some of these things that we're told that's accepted by governments and stuff sound more like a conspiracy theories than the conspiracy theories themselves. They're so off the planet in their rationale. And people aren't just going to sit there dumb accepting this, being fed this BS. If your eyes are awake and you can see the reality of something else, and someone else is trying to tell you that that's different, all you can do is laugh at them. It's just how ridiculous.
December 21st, 2012 refers to, or what the Mayans refer to as the end of time, not the end of the world. And so what is the end of time? The merging of cause and effect, right? So there won't be any separation between cause and effect. That implies that there is no time. And obviously, if there's no difference between cause and effect, then we have to be very careful with our causes, because we'll feel that effect instantaneously.
We are at what the prophecies say is the time of the harvest, the time of the end of this wave of evolution of mankind, where certain ones ascend, awaken, remember who they are and reclaim their divinity, like the prodigal son. You see, all of us have come to this place, and the ancient ones said that the soul in its transmigration came to this place and first inhabited the dense consciousness of the mineral kingdom, and then through radiation acquired the consciousness of the organic vegetable kingdom, and then came through the various animals, the animal kingdom, and now finally we have reached the man, the human. And the Jews have an expression: from the mineral to the plant, from the plant to the animal, from the animal to the man, from the man to the Jew, and from the Jew to the angel to the God. So in other words, what does it really mean in this sense to be Jew? Well, it's not to be a racial Jew. There's no such thing as the race of the Jews. It's a spiritual caste. And it means the awakened one, the chosen one, because there are three types of people: captives, called, and chosen. The captives are the ones who are captive because this material Maya has captivated them, and they're grabbing molecules, properties, and investment portfolios, and they're grabbing things, you know. So they're captive. They're held in captive by material illusions. The called ones are the ones who start to ponder the spiritual nature of things, and so the divinity is calling them up. You see, because the consciousness from the mineral to the plant to the animal to the human is in the middle kingdom. The kingdoms below are mortal, but man has immortality. And he can only ascend to the higher realms, but he is in the middle. Man is in the middle, mankind. And so we are at this stage now where many will ascend, many will remember and reclaim their divinity, like the prodigal son.
The prodigal son is us. There's a story in the Bible where there are two sons, and they both children of a very rich man. And they decide that they're going to, or one of them does anyway, he decides that he's going to venture off down into the world like Narcissus. He went down, 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 and he saw that he was good looking. And so he fell in love with himself. And this is what we do. We fall in love with this material world and all its pleasures and enticements. We go out there and we get a bit of pain and we get a bit of pleasure. Then we had enough of pain, so we go back to pleasure. And we don't realise that they're one and the same thing. And then when we work out that pleasure is pain and pain is pleasure, then we start thinking about joy and bliss. You see, the prodigal son, he went down and he slept with the prostitutes and he drank wine with his hooligan friends and everything and squandered all his riches. And then he saw, my God, this is vanity. I've come to my senses. I see a bigger picture here. I'm going back to my father because it was much better there. I mean, the food that he gives to his pigs is better than the food I'm eating. So he goes right back to his daddy. When we're out of here, when we're sick of the suffering and the illusion and the material enticements, like the world is so profane, there's advertisements to buy this, and you got this sleazy woman half naked advertising all sorts of products. Buy this and consume that, and here's some money. Come on, get out there and consume as much as you can. That's what these buffoons have created, a world of materialism, because they are materialists. They're not spiritualists, they're not into spirituality, they pretend to be. So the prodigal son, he goes back to his father, and his brother sees him coming up the drive, and the father greets him and kisses him tenderly and says, "My son, you've come back, you've come back." Quickly, he says to the servants, "Get a cow, let's have a feast, let's celebrate this evening." And the brother that stayed with the father up there in heaven, he turns around and says to his father, he says, "What are you doing? You know, I've been with you for so many years, you've never done this for me." And the father says, "Well, he has returned." You know the story of the lost sheep, where the Lord goes out and looks for that one lost sheep? That's what it's talking about. It's us making our return, consciously awakening to our spirituality.
But in order to know what love is, right, you have to go to a place where there is no love, right? And if you can come back from that place, despite there being no love, to come out of that fear, then you will truly know what love is, right? And so it's a deliberate thing. The veil of unknowing has been deliberately set up by us, the collective, the one energy, so that it can experience itself and not just know what itself is.
My guru used to always say, and I've lived by this particular saying my whole life, well, ever since I heard it, which is most of my life. And that is, don't ever let anybody tell you what God is. Find out for yourself.
I would say to the younger people, you are the future leaders. And come always with your heart, with love. What is love? A feeling of being good. Love is a feeling you want to do something good for the planet, for your family, for yourself, for nature, for the animals. And really, that will save not only mankind, but also the planet. And if you go from your feeling, from a very positive feeling, from a positive mind, it will really be a much better world than we have given to you now.
For young people, I would say to remember who they really are. Children are so beautiful the way they are, attached to the source. You know, they really are natural, and they're always dreaming and aspiring, and they're pure. That's why Jesus said, or the Bible words of Jesus say, that we must become like children to enter the kingdom of God. Well, he didn't say we must think like children. He didn't say we must act like children. He said we must be like children. Being. Children are pure, they're so connected to the source. And I would say to youngsters, because the word youngster means young star, that they are stars becoming. They are young stars. And I would remind children of that. I think they already know. It gets drummed into them at school and through the education system that they're not really that that special. You know, they're lumped in with other kids in the classroom and whatnot, but they need to be reminded how special they are and to reach out and show their love in this time we're living in, and they will benefit. You can only benefit when you apply these things, whether you're a child or a grown-up person. The more one loves and finds unity in this world and harmony, the more the blessings will be when that time comes. And the times are coming. It's a coming. The beautiful rewards for all those who are poised to receive them, they're coming.